What's going on, guys? Just going to do a quick breakdown video for Golden NQ since we missed the live stream today, which is very unfortunate. There was some issues with BT or whoever was working on the internet lines down the road, and it knocked our Wi-Fi off for the day. We can see gold has held from that new week opening gap that we had, and then we identified an area where we was interested in taking shorts from around the 3305 to 3320 area. Still currently holding at the moment, and as I mentioned on the previous breakdowns, I was going to take my entry closer to the 61 and not in the gap. We can see that 61 level has held absolutely perfectly. Did secure some profits from there earlier on. The zone was more so like this. Free 315 to free 320. Just edit that. And to highlight where my entry was on 3315. First TP was this wick rejection here. The overall trade should have looked something like this. Now, I didn't take this trade at entry. As you can see, we tapped into this area at 11 PM at night, which is out of my trading hours. So zooming into lower time frames, I'll actually share my entry with you. When we did tap into this area, it was during Asia session, which obviously being in the UK, I don't trade that session for a reason, I'm normally asleep. We can see we had a run up, we took out Asia highs, and then we had a displacement to the downside on the 15-minute, which you can see left behind this fair value gap here. I'm just going to take that out just for now so you can see a little bit clearer. So after we had that displacement to the downside at London Open, it left behind a fair value gap, which is where I took my sell from. There's the 15-minute fair value gap. My entry was taken as soon as we tapped back into this gap. Stop loss was covered at the highs because I didn't want to see them highs get taken out again. That wouldn't give me much confidence in knowing that the 61 is potentially going to hold or going to work. TP, like I said to you before, was based on this wick on the 4 hour. Again, what I'm trying to preach to you all is, by all means, use lower time frame to refine your entries down, but try and stick to higher time frame analysis or higher time frame areas to take your profits from, because you'll end up with a much larger risk to reward ratio. There was the trade that I'd taken on gold for almost a 1 to 3. Did actually run down to a 1 to 3, but my higher time frame point of interest was at 3295. So that was the trade that I'd taken on futures. Now if I just load up my futures accounts, Express funded accounts, the account's now locked out. $1,600 on that gold trade. Like I said to you guys, this is copy traded across 4 other accounts as well. Just shy of a 10k day, just from that one simple trade and trading one batch of Express funded accounts with Topstep. There's the profit from the trade. There's the analysis from the trade. And ultimately what I want to do with this card now going forward is, you don't have to rely on me for finding these setups. I'm going to try and teach you my concepts, teach you my framework, teach you my mindset and how I go about taking trades. Just to recap, we all had the 4 hour point of interest around that 61 level. But then, instead of me just setting a pending on here, sticking to the 4 hour, I'd probably still be in this trade now because the risk to reward just wouldn't be worth it. If we was to take it on the 4 hour, we're obviously going to have to cover these highs. Now, to get a 1-to-1, even that area where I've taken profit, it's only given, it's a negative risk to reward. So it's not worth taking that trade. Do you get what I'm saying? For me, what I'm wanting to see is, yes, this is my higher time frame point of interest. This is where I want to take a trade from, but I want to use this to determine my actual trade position. Now, this is why signals can be quite hard, because obviously we can all mark the zones out, but I can't dictate what price action's going to do. Ultimately, the idea of this new mentorship and the new Discord is to teach you what I'm looking at and teach you the way that I'm trading on these accounts and these futures accounts. It's still the same trade idea, but it's just managed a hell of a lot different. But yeah, that's a breakdown of the gold trade that I've taken today. Where do I think we're going to go from here? Well, we're still very much bullish in price. We're not really breaking any moves down to the downside. We're doing some internal market structure shifts, but nothing really of interest, especially if you look at this on the 1 hour. What I will say is, if we hold these highs, we fail to and hold around this sort of OTE level, I presume, then we can make another move lower, especially to sort of fill some of these gaps down here. But again, there's no sort of solid trade ideas just yet. It's a matter of reading price action and waiting to see where price wants to go. Trade what you see and not what you think. That's the recap and breakdown for the gold trade today. Obviously, I did try and get on a live stream earlier on, but like I said, the internet was down. This trade was actually taken in London session though, so it was out of our sort of live session. Take a quick look at NQ. We can see NQ's just had a pretty big meltdown on the 6 p.m. candle. Created a double top at these highs at around 21,550s. And we've had a huge displacement to the downside, consolidating, so it's not really ideal conditions to be taking a trade from. Although the consolidation range that we are in is quite large. These moves, you could still make a serious amount of money from trading this range, but I don't really like it when stocks are trading, because we're waiting for the bigger picture. Once we start to break out of this range, we establish direction, that's when the bigger trade will come, or the safer trade to take, so to speak. Still got this new week opening gap that wants to be filled. Didn't quite get tapped into that sell idea that we all marked up on previous breakdown, but accumulating around here. It's not looking too great because we've not swept liquidity from the double top there, and we've also not swept liquidity from the bottom of the range. Expect price to sweep the highs or the lows of the range first, and then probably go in the opposite direction. We'll just have to wait and see. What this now means is this is a great point where price can return to take out this double top liquidity for. That seems extremely risky because we've already tapped into it, but we don't have anything else below, apart from obviously the new week opening gap down here, which that's too much of a move for the trade idea that we're looking for here. Don't really like the size of this gap either. So we do have a 1 hour gap here, very small gap, so we'll quickly know if it's going to be respected or inversed. And then another one just below as well. So you could potentially treat that as one zone, even though they are two separate fair values. So now this 15. I think there's a quick breakdown for gold and NQ. Apologies again for the live stream not running today. I will try my best to get one up and running tomorrow. But there's a quick breakdown, a recap on the gold trade I took, a potential buy opportunity on NQ, and let's see what we get tomorrow.